I'm really like comfortable.
Oh, I am too.
Comfortable. All right. How you doing?
Oh, wow. Thank you for asking. I was really tired,
Yeah.
but then I was given some Tito's and I feel
Oh,
great
that's
now. You know what I'm
amazing. You
saying?
feel
Like
fired up.
I feel
You
alive.
feel ready to go. You
Like
feel
there
like
is warmth in my soul, in my
yes.
heart, in my heart.
There is warmth, 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 warmth down in my heart.
Yes, down in my heart.
Down in my
Down in my heart.
down in
There
my
is one. This is a very religious song
very much
for our
so.
topic. How are you though?
Me, myself, and I am.
Is all you got in the end. That's what you found out.
That's what I found out.
No need to cry.
To go out.
Now on.
I'm gonna be my own best friend.
Are we going to have a single episode where we do not sing?
No.
Okay.
If you want that, I suggest you unsubscribe now.
Stop listening.
Just stop here. I'm doing okay. You know, my job troubles seem to be coming to an end soon.
Yay.
I have pretty much an offer on the table.
On the table?
Yeah, but it's not really something I want to do.
Okay, that's fine. I have done almost everything exclusively that I didn't want to do. But you know what? If those didn't wants give me the coin that I need.
Yes. And I'm trying to get on your level. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm rounding.
What do you mean?
Because I'm trying to stack my paper, but also like be strategic in my work moves.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't been. So now that ball is in my court, I'm just like, ooh, this is an exciting time. I feel powerful. I feel like I have choice. I feel like I matter.
I'm better.
Yeah. So that's kind of what's happening with me. But other than that, I've been chilling.
Chilling like a villain.
Chilling like a villain.
I will let y'all know that last night, because I get paid in food sometimes for, you know, our other adventures.
Yes.
And last night I got a chicken pot pie.
Chicken pot pie.
And I almost got emotional.
Oh, goodness.
And I got a pineapple upside down cake. And when I tell you I love pineapples, but pineapples do not love me because I think at some point in my life, God got mad at me and he was like, no more of this for you. And I said, what? God, like, come on, bro. So every once in a while, I'll eat pineapple to be like, he's still mad. And then the way that it do in my body, I'm like, he's still mad. But the upside down pineapple cake, the pineapple is cooked, and when it's cooked, we goot.
Yes.
And I was just so happy. Like the tears were trying to flow, and I was like, come on, you can't cry because of food.
As soon as I saw the menu, and I was like, oh my God, you got the pineapple upside down cake. And they were like, yeah, we brought it back. It's like not very like, I don't know. Somebody made a dad joke and was like, it comes right side up. And I was like, okay.
Stop this. Don't ruin the cake for me.
I was like, okay, well, let me get one of those to my Odell as well. And yeah, I want to be that best boss ever. And I realized that my shortcomings is a lot of the shit we're doing for play and for volunteer. So the least that I could do is appeal to your love language, which is food.
It's food. It's always been food.
Yeah. So I know your favorite dishes at one restaurant, and so boom, that's you're worth it. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
I'm gonna work on my new cry this year too.
A new laugh and a new cry.
Yeah.
All within
Got
one.
a couple in the hopper. I can't do just the shoulders, because they can't hear that. So I gotta do the
Oh. Oh no, are you starting those here? Like,
oh, did you want me to wait?
a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, I already started, so I'm glad that we didn't discuss that prior to. But anyway, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about God's laughter. You brought up God being mad at you. So we're just going to kind of loosely talk about when God laughs his hindquarters off at our plans.
You know what? I just want to take a moment to say your transitions have come a long way.
Yes!
I'm proud.
Thank you so much.
At the beginning, I used to be like,
guys, season 1 and 2, it was horrible. I literally was just pulling them out of thin air right now.
We need to do like a compilation of like all the terrible,
the old episodes.
Yes.
Even our old stuff is better than your best shit. No,
it's true. You're not kidding. It's actual factual. That's the actual factual number one. We are elite. Do not be discouraged if we're
Yeah.
better than you, because we are just smiled upon by God in our talent.
Listen, we're gonna speak this into existence. When this shit becomes a job, like we could just come into the studio, get paid, a smooth
Something.
2,000 a piece, right?
Oh yeah, that sounds good. That sounds real good.
2,000 a piece.
I started sweating in my one pit. Oh, that was woo. Woo, girl.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Anyway, God's laughter.
Mhm.
So, for the first actual factual, I'm going to do my best to try to moderate this conversation since, I looked up all this random shit.
Our week was a little busy, so we didn't have as much time to plan this flow, but we're gonna do our best because
We're going to do our best.
we're elite at just
Winging it.
yeah, and dicking around on the mic. So
On the mics. Anyway. So the old Yiddish proverb, "We plan, God laughs," expresses a truth everyone can relate to. Amen.
Amen.
At every stage of life, we make plans.
Sure do.
Amen. Settling out where we want to go and
Mm.
imagining what we will be like
So good.
when we have arrived. Amen.
Amen.
But things have a way of turning out not quite as we hoped.
Yola
Amen.
shalabadabandanda.
Expelliarmus. So
That was a hearty snort. It hurt.
that actual factual, I thought it would be fun to talk about what were some things we planned on accomplishing in our 20s.
Wow. So if we wanna be for real, I thought I was going to go into the military, right? And then after that, I didn't care what happened to me. But that didn't happen because God was like, "I'm taking your knees. Good luck running in basic." I was like, "Oh, okay." Hurtful. All right. So then I was like, "Okay, I'll go to college. This is fine." And then I was like, "I'm gonna go to college. In my junior year, I'm gonna get engaged. I'm gonna graduate, and after I graduate, we're gonna get married, and then we're gonna buy a house."
All before
And then
25?
yeah.
Okay.
And then between 25 and 30, I'm gonna have my 2.5 kids. And then I'm gonna be making 6 figures by 30. So we'll be good and financially stable. Take the kids to Disney World. They're gonna go. I'm gonna stay at the place because I don't really like Disney World like that. But it was just gonna be, everything was gonna be done by 30. Let's all laugh together because I have never been engaged, and well, that's not true. But if we're gonna be totally honest, I was wearing a ring for a little bit, but I did not have an actual proposal. I was never married. I did not have any babies, and we're almost 30, so it didn't work out the way that I thought.
So you want to hear my plans?
Yes.
I mean,
God's plan.
Once upon a time, I did also want to go into the military. I wanted to be a Marine, believe it or not.
That is so wild to me because every time you say that, I forget, and I'm just like,
yeah, I really wanted to be a Marine.
Their uniforms are so sexy, bro. That was the only reason I wanted to be a Marine. I was like, let me get this uniform. I want to look so fancy.
Yes.
I want the little sword. Okay. And I want to tell everybody they're inferior to me. I'm a Marine. What are you?
What are you? Who? No, I'm not gonna do that.
Are you ready to deploy in less than 24 hours? No.
Are you first in line, first in combat?
No.
Are you? No. That was gonna be shady. I was gonna be shady. I love Marines. No, but my sister was
that painful? Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm cool. We're cool.
Okay.
Camera check, we're cool. My sister was a Marine, and I thought that was just the coolest shit ever. So I loved wearing dog tags and baggy clothes. So I was like, oh, yeah. I clearly belong in the military because that's what they wear.
My fashion
aligns with. I really want cargo, like camo. I could kill that shit. But no, that's not what God had in store for me. Because what's funny is not only you can be a small Marine, but if you have asthma.
Also,
stay away.
Listen, I have no idea how you would have made it through basic.
You have
been a problem every day.
I can appear to listen, I can appear very
Okay.
like I can fake listening. Not well, but I do fake it.
You do fake it. You be like, yep. And what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear anything you said. Okay. I kind of gathered from the second that you weren't really listening.
I'll never forget the day somebody told me their dog died, and I was like, ah.
Oh.
She was like, I just said my dog died. And I was like, oh, my bad. I thought you said something funny.
When the autopilot doesn't work well, you're just like, oh, just crashed.
Yo. All right. Wow, is that the rain? Damn. Okay.
I can't stand the rain
Boom, 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 boom.
against my window.
So, military got thrown out the window. You have asthma. That doesn't work. So
You
then,
just have to pretend that you don't.
they check your medical records. Because I know somebody that got kicked out.
They only check if you disclose. Let me be honest with you. As a military brat doubly, if you keep a secret and you make it through basic, that's between you and God.
Yeah, he didn't make it through basic. I think the secret came out after he finished. And they were just like, yeah, that's not going to work out. So it was pretty sad. And so I just was trying to save myself from heartache.
That seems pretty rare. They must have wanted to get him out for other reasons. It was like, listen,
Girl,
find whatever you can.
I don't know, but he was so excited to be in the military. It was so sad. But
baby.
okay. So military out the window. Now let's fast forward 17 years ago when the cicadas were around.
You said 17 years ago, and I was just like,
in the past.
We were children.
No, yeah, in the past,
Okay.
we were children.
Our first experience with
experience with the cicadas. I told myself, I had a conversation with myself on the playground. I was like, self, you are going to move to Manhattan. You are going to have a condo, penthouse.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
In the sky.
Ain't going to be around no trees. You ain't never going to see these little bitches ever again.
Never. And
that was supposed to be on my 25th birthday. I was supposed to have a penthouse condo in Manhattan. And
you was going to be rich.
I didn't even have a career planned out. I really just was like, this is what's going to happen. Do it. And so my 25th birthday, I was like, I've accomplished nothing. I have accomplished nothing. My 7-year-old self wanted me to have accomplished.
Well, your 7-year-old self didn't know how hard life was going to be.
Not a clue. She was so oblivious.
Isn't it precious?
Stupid little.
That's how I feel about my 18-year-old self. Because my plans were made at 18 to go into military. And then that pivot happened at 20. My 20-year-old self still thought, we're going to get married. Yeah. We're going to have these kids. We're going to get this house. We're going to get this money. Where? With whom? How?
What was the biggest thing that thwarted all of your plans? I know you said your knee for the military.
Yeah. And I was going to make it by any cost. Yeah. The amount of ibuprofen that I put into my body before I had that run, I was like, listen, I need you to make it past this one test. And then we don't give a fuck. Both the legs can fall off after. That's all we need.
Because you were trying to be were you trying to be in the tech?
Yeah, I was going to be a quote unquote cyber warrior.
Oh, that would have been so good.
Yeah, I would have graduated because I did ROTC for anybody listening who don't know. So I would have graduated with I had a 2-year degree that I walked for. I would have had a 4-year degree afterwards, been a commissioned officer because no offense to the enlisted, but I was going the officer route. And then that would have been it. After I graduated, I would have been in. But the only thing that was standing between me was I had to qualify for field training, which was 4 weeks. So basic, I think at the very least, you're doing 8 weeks. This was 4. So I was like, I just have to pass this run to qualify for field training and hold it together for 4 weeks. This is the best deal that I can get. And his bummy ass knee was like, I can't. But when it comes to the military, that's really what messed me up was I could do the crunches, the sit-ups. I could listen for the most part. I did get talked to a couple times. They're like, your mouth, Henson. I was like, yes, I have one. You have one too. Anyway, I blame my mother for that. Anyway, in terms of the other plans that I have, what thwarted that was my naive understanding of how you can achieve things with other people.
Yeah.
Everything that I could have achieved by myself, I've done. I may have not wanted to do those things by myself. I may have cried about it a lot, but I'm Pisces. I cry.
Water sports.
But as far as like, as far as like buying a house, like yes, I was able to do that. A 6-figure salary, yes, I was able to do that. But when it comes to like getting engaged and married and having kids, like you really don't want to rush that shit.
Yeah.
And had I done that with the person that I was with in college, I might not be here today, honestly. I might have been like, listen, no more. We're done. It just wasn't healthy. I didn't want it bad enough to put myself in a position where I was going to have regrets and then little children involved with my regrets.
Yeah.
And it's always been a thing for me that I was like, whoever I end up having children with or marry, hopefully the same thing that happens with both of them. But whoever that is, I want to make sure that they're a good father, because I don't want my children to suffer from my poor choices because they gonna have one daddy. They only gonna have one daddy. The Guardians of the Galaxy. You might have, what do you say? Some fathers, one daddy, something like that. Whatever. The blue dude.
The blue dude.
Yeah.
Something with
I don't know what his name
thick
was.
ass accent.
Yeah.
Just like that.
We've lost the whole Midwest from our podcast. But yeah, that was just something I could not take a gamble on, because if it impacts me terribly, fine. But if it impacts my kids terribly, I'm gonna feel really shitty.
As
so
you should.
Yeah, that was not worth the gamble. So that's what thwarted that. And we've had some other relationships since then. I'm just like, if I imagine that I'm not having children, I'm having a great time.
Yeah. Okay.
But what for you? What thwarted your plans?
I think I think a large part of it was just me believing in myself and like taking the risk. Like I really, really wanted to go out of state for college, both experiences. Never did, because I was scared or kind of like manipulated.
When you say both experiences, for the people who are new to us,
yes.
What do you mean?
Oh, I have a lot of degrees.
She does.
So I went to school several times.
Too long.
So the first time was between 2011 and 2015.
Oh my God, we're so old.
And then the second time was between 2016 and 2019. And technically, I'm a Juris Doctorate. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to
Dr. Hoff over here.
Yeah, doctor of the law. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go to where did I really want to go? I really want to go to New York. I wanted to go to Columbia University for law school. You know, the funny thing about nepotism is it doesn't work for Black people. So that's kind of what I was banking on. I was like, is there a way I could get like a legacy thing? Because my grandfather, asshole, he he just sucked. He really gassed me up and he was like, oh, I'll do this, that, and the third for you, and then he never followed through. The man is still alive. Evil lives for a long time. Okay,
it does.
So it's not even like he died and he couldn't do what he said he was gonna do. Like he still can do it, and he was just like, fuck you, I'm gonna spit in your in the caps of your cleaning supplies, put them back when I leave, and then never talk to you again. Yeah.
Oh,
that's why I called him an asshole.
That was very specific.
That's specifically what happened. It's some bullshit. So he spent a summer with us, and he was like, send me your resume, send me like your transcript, let me know what you're doing in school. And he was like, I'll write a letter for you for school, for Columbia. So I was like, bet, I'm gonna be in New York. I'm gonna be away from my parents, away from my family. I'm gonna like find myself and figure my own shit out on my own. So that's why I always thought I was going to be in New York. But just my fears of like moving away, like from my comfort zone, I think thwarted my plans. But then, you know, later on, I did get heavily influenced, but it was still my decision to stay home.
That's interesting because you have always been, in my opinion, a very adventurous person.
I have security blankets that like I never leave.
Mm-hmm.
I never go throughout life without. And I think now that I'm getting older, I'm learning that I'm using a lot of those things as like crutches and like really not being as adventurous as I could be. Like I could be way more adventurous, but I choose
That's
to.
terrifying.
I know, right? Because you already think I do so much shit.
Yes. Yes.
It could be
Balls to the wall.
it could
Nipples to the
be
wind.
on another level, a whole other level, like more intense.
I'm sweating. Okay. That's cool. That's great. I love that for you.
But I never took the necessary steps to make sure that like financially I would be able to do that at 25.
Mm-hmm.
Like at 25, I was broke in school. I mean, not broke. Like I got student loans.
I mean, like your standard broke.
Standard broke, yeah. I could still eat and go out and have fun, but like I didn't save any of that money. I didn't invest any of that money. I just didn't think about what it is that like my travel bug. I didn't think about feeding that at all. So that's what thwarted my plan.
That's so interesting because I think I've always been really anal about planning, which I really think is a side effect of anxiety, to be honest. But my mom was always a really big planner in, how to, I think this is biblical. Like, don't let your left hand see what the right hand doing or whatever.
Oh.
Something like that. I don't know. But I learned, like, I watched her a lot as a child, and I was just like, all right, she is always like present, but her foot is in the next year. Her foot is in the next move. And I was just like, I like that.
Yeah.
Because a lot, like, I've never really saw my mom caught slipping. And I was just like, that's probably feels really nice because
very nice.
I have been caught slipping many a time.
I caught
And when
myself.
You slip, you fall and it hurts.
Sometimes you bust your lip.
Yep. Sometimes you break your knee.
Sometimes you do all those things.
Sometimes just bad things happen. So
Lord.
I was just like, you know what? I gotta be smart like my mama. I gotta do the planning. I gotta do the work. So everything, and plus I really wanted to get away from my home situation. I thought the military was my first class ticket out of my current existence in my life. And I was like, I can explore, I can travel. This was all I wanted to do. All of it. All the eggs in one basket. Yeah. So when that didn't work out, I was just like, I'm in college, did not really have a plan B, but I guess we got to finish up college. But then I was like, all right, got to get this house. And so I started saving for a house. I made sure like that I, did my best to get a job straight out of college. And I grinded so hard because I was like, my plans didn't work out and I need to secure my future. I need to secure my peace of mind. But the downside to me working so hard with plans, even though they worked out, my mental health was trash. Yes. That shit suffered so much that like my brain just imploded. Yes. And then I'm like, I can't plan shit because my brain is in disarray. Like my body is broken. I don't have anybody to rely on because I've put myself in my own house, which is great. Yeah. But if I'm not working, who's paying these bills? So it was almost like I set myself up. Even though I was what you would say traditionally successful. Like, cool, bought a house at 24. That's a great metric. But when you're, 25 and your job is trying to fire you because you were in a car accident and you can't show up to work, then it's like, this was a fucking mistake. Why did I do this? Yes. So plans are interesting because, God's laughter aside, because he be looking at our plans like, that's not what I have for you at all.
Like, you think you're going to go down that path, but...
And I really feel like God took my knee. Like, there were little signs that was like, all right, I should probably stop trying to go into this military direction. Like, things weren't just working out, and I was just like, well, I got to make them work. I just got to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
They should have been signs to stop. So it wasn't until my knee was like and I'm on crutches that I was like, imagine me being so ambitious that the Lord was like, the only thing I can do to stop you is take your knee. Yeah. Why are we here? Yeah. Why are we here, Miss Young Lady, ma'am?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you said persevere, right? The race, you got to finish it. Didn't you say that somewhere?
Say somewhere.
New Testament or something.
I mean, I think you did a good job. Like, I don't even think your journey was quote unquote over planning because you executed your goal. And I think that's where a lot of people get tripped up and fall on their face and bust their lip and their knee gets a cyst or something. Like all those things happen because people like they do too much and they lose focus on actually executing it is what they want to come to fruition.
I guess I just think that there was probably a better balance than what I was doing.
Okay.
I really put myself in a this is it or nothing else, and that wasn't healthy. I probably could have taken, my time with some things that I tried to rush. But hindsight's always 2020. So
Yeah.
like, had I taken my time, would I be doing anything different? Would I have been happier? Would I have been more mentally stable? Who's to know? Where we're at. But I know now that I need to be a little more loosey-goosey with my plans. Like, I can't flip out when I plan to leave the house at 5:50 and we leave at 5:57. Like, that's just not normal. We gotta relax.
I sorry.
No, but that's well, we'll get into the actual factual number 2.
Yeah.
You
No, go for it.
over planning is a symptom of perfectionism, i.e. procrastination.
Yeah.
It's the desire to control outcomes despite the fact that nothing will ever be perfect and we have very little control over most outcomes. So that's sometimes I have to look at my planning in that light where I'm like, am I doing this because I'm freaked out if I don't have control? Am I doing this because I'm freaked out if I'm going to be late? Am I doing this because I think something awful is going to happen if I don't do this? And that's not healthy. Like, we got to chill the fuck out.
Yeah, because at the end, you don't have control. The answer is no.
Yeah.
Nothing is in your control. And like the over planning, and I mean, I think there was, let me see. Yes, I was looking at my own notes.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was gonna kind of jump onto the fact that like the reason why I put procrastinations in parentheses is because procrastination is a form of, you trying to put off being perfect at any given moment.
Okay.
So with over planning becoming a symptom of perfectionism, that's just like an offshoot of also just procrastination.
Yeah.
Like it begets each other. So I think that I lost my train of thought, but I'm going to keep talking as if I didn't so I can keep the flow going. Thank you so much.
You had a plan, but you pivoted.
I did. Because you know what? All this shit is out of our control. Like memory, out of my control.
That's what I will say, that like mental health issues humble the fuck out of you because you can't control what you can remember. You can't control when your brain just decides you're going to have a bad day today.
Yes.
The sun is shining.
Day.
People love you. People are congratulating you. People said you did a good job today. You're having a bad day. Why? Because I said so. And it's just like you don't have control. You don't know what feelings you get to feel that day. And now being medicated and my medication actually works well, I'm understanding like the things that people would say that would like piss me off is like, you can choose to have a bad day. No, I can't. I can't choose shit. Okay. And now it's just like, I'm back in that balance, in that healthy kind of mindset where I can choose to be more positive about my situation and it does something.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just sit here and be like, oh, I'm depressed. Let me choose positivity. I'm still going to feel depressed. I don't feel better being positive.
Yeah.
And I feel like people don't really understand that when you have a mental health issue, like it's not always triggered. Sometimes your brain chemistry is just fucking off.
Yeah.
And you can't just will your fucking brain back together. If you could, nobody would be on medication. Everything would be happy.
Nah, I would say, oh Lord, have mercy, medication. Mine's is, I'm kind of at this crossroads with my meds because I'm just like, I'm seeing some red flags that I don't really like.
That's how I felt with this Alexa. I'm not mad at you. And then I just stopped taking that shit. I was like,
I can't stop taking mine because I gotta have like seizures for the rest of my life.
Well, if you decide you want to, just work closely with your psychiatrist. Don't do what the fuck I did. That was dumb.
Yes.
That was very dumb.
Yes. All right. So back to planning. All right. So I think this topic really hits home because of kind of like what we've been doing on the side in the creative realms of working. I've noticed that there are two types of people. There are people that need to plan in order to have this false sense of control. And then there are people that, and that's no shade. That's just like That's just what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are people that are just totally avoidant
Mm-hmm.
of all things plans.
Mm-hmm.
And finding that healthy balance, especially in this creative space, is
Mm-hmm.
so, so important. And I feel like people be struggling, but like I be struggling. Like it's a struggle. It is a struggle, but it's like you have to understand that you can plan everything to a T. You can plan an event perfectly by hour, by minute. Something is going to go wrong.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And you are going to have to pivot. It is just a way of life. That is what it is. But you can't walk into these situations completely unprepared either.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, in doing the research for the actual factuals, you know, a strategist is somebody that plans in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Being a strategist is generally a good thing. But you're doing too much when you are procrastinating. You're getting caught up in perfectionism. You are trying to kind of like micromanage things that are just completely out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you start running into problems. And I definitely wanted, you know, to highlight that because the thing that I'm seeing, like me, myself, and me personally, and I do this too.
Mm-hmm.
Fear of success might be stronger than fear of failure.
Mm. Well, as Winnie Churchy says,
Winnie Churchy, yeah.
perfection is the enemy of progress.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with taking what you just said into consideration, the sense of security that you get is going to outweigh whatever outcome you want.
Mm-hmm.
So if your sense of security is in planning, that is going to become more important to you. Planning will become more important to you than the outcome of your plans.
Yeah.
And if, you know, that puts you on the side of failure, then you're going to be failing a lot.
Yeah.
If that puts you on the side of success, you may have this false sense of security where you're like, oh, I'm winning because I'm planning everything and it's working out. And it's just like, no, you're just having a generally good go at life right now.
Yeah.
And there is going to be an opportunity where your plans don't work out.
Yeah.
And you haven't exercised that pivot muscle,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to lose your shit.
Mm-hmm.
That is like the one thing in my late 20s that I think I've really come to exercise and realize the importance of it. It's not just the planning that's important. It's that ability to go, this plan didn't work. What do I do now?
Yeah.
Like,
Because
you can't just sit there and be like, well, you were supposed to be here at this time. They're not. So what are you doing now?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that kind of goes into like kind of what happened with like working with a family member.
Mm-hmm.
There was conflict on how we plan things. But at the end of the day, like all the shit that we were arguing about not being planned,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't work out.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I needed somebody on my team that was able to pivot
Mm-hmm.
and be able to like, because oftentimes you're not awarded with the time to panic, unfortunately.
Yes. True.
Like even in the work like environment, you just have to keep going. You literally have to get yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep going, and then kind of process, like revisit it later on,
Mm-hmm.
and process those emotions. But I don't know. I'm trying to find balance.
I mean, that was some real shit because that's what happened to me today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got an influx of requests. Usually I maybe get like 10 at a time. This time there were over 100 that hit me like right after I led training. And I was just like, and they had been sitting there for like an hour, and I'm just like, these people are gonna start emailing, and then my boss gonna think I'm not doing my job, but he knows I was doing my job because I was in this training.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else wanted to do this while I was in training. They know I can't do both things at the same time. Like, what's going on? Like, I really was having this whole spiral moment, and I'm just like, they know you were leading training. Ain't nobody volunteered to do the training for you. Nobody stepped up and said we was gonna watch this cue for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna get done when it gets done.
Okay.
And so I had to like take that moment to like, it is what it is. If somebody is going to say this needs to be done faster, all you got to do is go to your team and say, I can't, I need help.
So you gave yourself space to like
That space was
pivot.
about 2 seconds.
2 seconds to pivot.
Yes, but you know, when you learn, your 10 minutes turns in maybe to 2 minutes, and you get used to going, all right, these are the facts, what do I do next?
Mm-hmm.
But
That's why you got your senior title back.
Like, it's definitely been a lot of moments where I had to practice that. And being on the side of the over planner, I've had to give room for things to just flow organically and not suffocate these processes and these experiences with my planning, because that fucks it up.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, listen, I think we did great on timing and we did great on topics. So I'm pleased
You
with.
did great with the flow. You did great.
Aw.
This planning you did so good.
When I tell y'all, I just like freestyling. I really do.
She
Like
does.
it, because it keeps me quick on my feet, especially now that my memory is just fading. Like COVID, weed, depression, everything is just taking
the big three.
The big three. It's just taking my memory. So like when I do stuff on the fly and I'm able to think on my feet, I'm just like, okay, I'm getting my mental exercise. Damn, that sounds like a lot of rain.
Well, I guess we hanging out in here until it stops.
But no, doing this show, Fled, I was just like, oh, this is what makes Tip's heart glow.
It does. I pulled it up. I was like, look at her. She did 3 of them too. It's so good. It's so good.
3 factuals, and then I left all the stuff.
You did. You did bomb.
All right. Well, on that note, ladies and gents, be kind to yourself.
Be kind to others.
And continue to be that beautiful little galaxy you're meant to be. And don't overplan.
Yeah. Yeah. Be cool about it. Because God's going to laugh at you regardless.
Just like that.
See, I couldn't do my laughs, and you can do your...
Go ahead. Do your laugh.
That one's new.
Okay. I like that one.
Did you like it?
Yep. It was really good.
Did you want to... Yuck.
Yuck.
Yeah. We got plenty of laughs.
There we go.
New laughs all 2023.
New laughs all 2023. All right. Bye, guys.
Peace.